Hauser, I spent a lot of time in D.C. with very fine police officers, both with the Metropolitan Police Department and the Capitol Police, when I was a prosecutor there. You are seeking an $18.5 million increase in funding for the department, and also decreasing for over $4 million in local and federal grants from community-based programs. Now, D.C., as I know it well, has the most police officers per capita in the country, and one of the highest, if not the highest, incarceration rate in the country. Why do these stats prove the D.C. Police Department needs more money? I mean, your proposal mentions a specific increase of $280,000 for ballistic shields.
Oh, you may be referring to how we just budget maneuver that we use to show labor cost or a labor improvement. But the only increase that the D.C. police are going to get in personnel relate to our cadet program, which allows us to hire D.C. residents, train them at the University of the District of Columbia before they enter the Metropolitan Police Department. And as you know, our police department is unlike any jurisdictions in that it has local responsibilities for sure, but it also supports First Amendment demonstrations that are unique to the nation's capital. And so we feel very good about the number of police that we have and our ability to retain our officers and attract officers that share our values. I'm not sure about the other reference that you made in terms of cutting programs, but you know that we balanced the budget and sent it to the council in the year of a global pandemic. And just like every jurisdiction, we saw our revenues dive. We saw our revenues dive actually by $800 million out of a $15 billion budget. So we looked across the board, and a lot of our programs had to take a haircut so that we could have a balanced budget. My budget is now, I sent it to the council about 4 weeks ago, and our public safety investments are more than policing. Policing is one part of the equation, but we also include our investments in education and job training. And this year, in this very significant budget year, we were still able to increase our spending for public education because we see the number of our kids in our public schools going up. We've also been able to propose a transformation of our infrastructure academy that's training D.C. residents for good paying jobs, in addition to investing in ending homelessness and affordable housing and making sure that we have non-law enforcement interventions for public safety as well.
We've been talking about Juneteenth. As you know, and some states now are saying these are going to be holidays that people will know and will educate folks on it. Do y'all in D.C., is there a plan to do something special for Juneteenth? Is there a plan to educate people more about Juneteenth in D.C.?
Well, absolutely. And actually, we have our own Emancipation celebration in Washington, D.C. that is a local holiday and has been, I guess, going on 5 or even more than that, maybe 8 years. We've been celebrating D.C. Emancipation Day. And it's related to Juneteenth in a way because the Emancipation, the Compensated Emancipation Act preceded the Emancipation Proclamation. And emancipation in D.C. happened many months before the entire nation. So we celebrate in D.C. as a holiday, and some people are aware of it because it comes around tax day. It's April 16th, and that is a holiday in the District of Columbia. For Juneteenth, we will also recognize it in D.C. this year by making a contribution to the African American History and Culture Museum of one of our street signs for Black Lives Matter Plaza.